Hi, welcome to today's show, the BBB Insider. I'm Tierney Chatfield, and today we're going to talk about general contractors and some scams related in their industries. Our guests today are Andy Wool from Andy's Plumbing and Jason Hoffman from Hoffman Landscaping and Lawn Services. Your host today, of course, you know him oh so well. He's none other than BBB President John North.
Wow, you go with the long introduction again. That was really nice.
Well, I try to.
You took up most of the time. Let's get right to the guests. You took up most of the time.
Well,
there.
sometimes you tell me I don't talk enough.
You always
then you
do
tell
great.
me I talk too much.
Well,
There's
you
no
know,
pleasing you.
I hope the camera was rolling before because these guys are hilarious.
I know.
I mean,
I
we
hope they
could go.
We'll
they
do
could
our
have a little
bloopers.
stick going on.
It'll be like
on
our
their,
bloopers.
On their own. Yeah. Yeah. Well, welcome. We'll get to you guys here in a few minutes. But for those of you just joining us for the first time, welcome. Those of you who have been around for a while, we want to thank you for returning. The Better Business Bureau here in this marketplace and all across North America focuses on creating a trustworthy and ethical experience for both consumers and businesses. And so you might notice Tierney and I are a little casual today.
Casual today.
That's right, because we've got people who are out there working with their hands, getting dirty every day for consumers here in the Miami Valley. And so we thought
We
this
get
would
a little
be,
dirty with the consumers too, don't we?
No, every once in a while, I guess.
Yeah, we have to. We
Yeah,
get out
especially
there
back
with
there
them.
in that call center.
That's right.
That's right, dealing with those inquiries and also
People
those
calling
complaints
in.
that come in.
Yeah,
That's right.
definitely.
Yeah, so we're excited about today's show. We've got some great guests that we're going to talk with you about. We're going to talk about all the great things that you need to do to prepare for the new season coming in, as well as how do you know that you're dealing with an ethical individual when you're interacting in that business relationship. So let's get down to it. Our first guest, Andy Wool. How you doing?
Pretty good. How are you doing?
That's good. I'm doing good. Welcome to the show.
Thanks.
So I've heard the story before many times, actually over and over before when Andy's been sitting on the floor working on the plumbing in the house or one of the properties. And so I've heard it before, but for those who haven't, give us a little history of Andy's Plumbing.
Well, I started when I was 14. I worked for 3 different contractors, and then I went to work for the state of Ohio as a plumber, and then I went to work for the city of Dayton as a master plumber. And after that, about 18 years ago, I opened my business and been doing it ever since.
Okay, so you worked for the city of Dayton? Was that during residency?
That was during residency.
Really? So you set up shop in Dayton, Ohio, huh?
Well, I worked for them for the water department.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, great. So let's talk a little bit about your business. I mean, we know, a little bit about plumbing. Tell me about some of the interesting, complex things that you do as a plumber. What kind of services does your organization provide?
We mainly stick with residential service, meaning anything in your house. We do very little commercial, but we can do it. It's just you got to specialize one direction or the other. Do a lot of drain cleaning, do a lot of remodeling and things such as that. Okay. House inspections for real estate.
Okay, so when you said you do a lot of remodeling. So you do, when it relates to that plumbing issue, like you do a whole new
lot
bathroom?
of bathrooms, yeah. Whole
Okay.
lot of bathroom remodeling, yeah.
Okay, so not just the plumbing aspect, but you'll go in there and you'll put in walls and...
Yeah, and the most important part there is you want to make sure you have a licensed plumber doing the plumbing on that remodel.
Okay.
People tend to hire general contractors, and they may not have a license to be working on those plumbing fixtures.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are some of the toughest jobs that you get into?
Well, not necessarily tough. We get a lot of dirty.
Okay.
Yeah. Crawl spaces are not my favorite places.
Okay.
So, but yeah, and drain cleaning's not always something that you look forward to, but you got to do what you got to do.
Right. Okay. What's the most common thing that you get called out for?
Probably water heater problems.
Okay.
And that's another good thing about when you use a licensed contractor, because I would say if we do 20 calls, 5 of those calls are fixing somebody else's who put it in originally, and you would avoid a lot of that if you were using a licensed contractor, and make sure he's licensed in that area that he's doing that in.
Yeah. That brings up another interesting thing that we like to talk about on the show, and there may not be any, I guess you could call it scams, but what are some of the things going on in your industry? If they're not a licensed plumber, somebody out there doing a handyman coming out and doing some plumbing, what are some problems you see in your industry?
The latest thing I've heard about is I had a couple people call me where most people who have a house that was built from 1970 and back, which is a big majority of the Dayton area, have clay sewers, and every one of those gets roots in them, and every one of those needs cleaned. Well, we have some companies who go out, and I don't think it's the right thing to do. They'll put a camera down there and they'll say, oh, you need this whole sewer replaced. We can get your sewer cleaned for between $100 and $150. Well, to replace the sewer is $4,000. So they're trying to tell people that they have to disclose this, that the sewer's got roots in it. Well, disclose it, but that doesn't mean you need to spend your hard-earned money when you could get it cleaned 40 times for what you're going to pay to get it replaced. And that's the current thing going on right now.
Okay. All right. Well, obviously you've been BBB accredited. You're one of our accredited businesses with an A rating. Can you tell me what integrity means to you and someone in your industry?
Well, there again, it's like going back to the license. You want to make sure you're giving people an honest job, a fair job, and I believe in letting the customer be in control of what they're having done. You want to give them their options and say that you could do it this way or you could do it this way. I always ask people too, how long are you going to be here? You're going to be here for the rest of your life? You're going to be here for 5 years? We can do this. And let them be in control of that. Let them always make the decision. Don't try to force a decision on them. That way, make them feel comfortable.
Okay, good. What about being a member of the Better Business Bureau? How do you feel about that? What's the reason that you're a part of?
I think that's you got to care about your community, and that's one of the ways you show that is to try to stimulate better businesses to come up to that level. And if everybody was doing that, then we would have less problems.
Right. Okay. What's your territory? What area do you cover?
Oh, we cover all Montgomery County, all of Greene County, get into a little bit of Warren County.
Okay.
And that's pretty much it.
All right, that's great. Well, you got any
Do
plumbing
you
issues?
have any, well, aside from calling the professionals, are there things that consumers can do themselves to maintain the plumbing, the drains, and that kind of stuff around the house?
Yeah, I mean, you can, one bad thing is that we all have water saver this and water saver that. So the less water you put in there, the more likelihood it's going to be a stoppage down the road. Mm-hmm. So you want to be water conservative, but you also want to make sure that you've flushed out, like the kitchen sink, for example. You want to let it run for a couple minutes after you get done. Okay. And just keep an eye on stuff. Don't wait till the last minute. Mm-hmm. I don't know why, if you had your car and it was 10 years old and it didn't sound right, you'd probably go get a new one. Mm-hmm. But a water heater, well, let's wait till it breaks and it goes all over the floor. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I've never understood that concept.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So you don't want the damages. They're not worth it.
Okay, great.
So one of the surprises that we learned already from you is that you're not just a plumber, but there are other things that you have to do. You do bathrooms. Is there anything else that would kind of surprise you about what a plumber might do? Surprise us about what kind of things that plumbers do?
Well, I guess when you get into plumbing, it's always in a wall, or it's under the concrete, or it's behind the tile, or wherever it needs to be. And then we just always found that people are more comfortable that you had to go through that wall or through that concrete or through that tile. Now they got to hire somebody else to put it back. Well, you're already there. You know what they need. And we always just try to provide the service to put it back to the way it was before we got there. I think it makes them feel more comfortable.
The rainy season, does that keep you busy because of leaky basements? Do people call you to put in sump pumps?
Yeah, you get those going. And that's another prime example of don't wait till the last minute. You can flood your basement and cost you thousands of dollars, or you could go spend $250, $300 and put in a new sump pump. Why wait till it's completely dead?
Right. Okay. Well, you've told us your story. You've been a successful businessman here in the area. what would be the best business advice you've ever received?
I think the most important business thing you can do in my occupation is to make sure that the customer's happy, make sure you showed them what you did, and make sure you triple check everything before you walk out that door. Everybody's always in a hurry because they're overscheduled, and the most important thing you can do is not where you're fixing it, to make sure you fixed it right before you walk out the door. And if you do have a problem, you want to make sure and get back there. Don't you know, we've all probably experienced businesses that don't want to, they've had a problem with whatever the plumbing job that you did, and it's a year later. Well, don't lay it off on somebody else. Get back out there, take care of it. You know, that's when they're really seeing how your business is run, is when they have a problem that you're going to step up to the plate and take care of it.
Okay. Who'd you learn this business from?
Oh man, that's been a long time ago. I started with a company in Inglewood, and then I went to another company in Vandalia. I mean, this was, I was riding a bike to my first job, because I started when I was 14. And then I went to work for another company in Vandalia that I don't even think they're in business anymore. And all we did was new houses and stuff. And then I did commercial work when I worked for the city of Dayton and the state of Ohio.
Okay. What's the hardest lesson you've ever learned in this business? Is there a hard lesson that you had to learn?
Maybe that triple checking stuff. You know, you can't be in a hurry to be done to get to your next job. Don't overschedule yourself. Don't overwhelm yourself, because you're just setting yourself up for a problem that you were in a hurry to get out of there. You want to make sure you double, triple check everything.
All right, great. Lots of great information, very useful. Jason and Andy had kind of a deal here. Jason promised that he wouldn't interrupt Andy. And
we're going to see if he repeats any of his answers.
He's not allowed to repeat anything that Andy had said, just make it relevant. We did ask him just to make it relevant to his particular industry. So you're in the landscaping business, right, Jason?
Yes, I am.
All right, why don't you tell us a little bit about you and your company and how you got Hoffman Landscaping and Lawn Services started?
Sure. Well, when I was young, I always enjoyed working for my grandmother and for other family members. Always just enjoyed being outside doing work. And, you know, I had a full-time job coming out of high school, and would do landscaping in the evenings. And, you know, family grew to family and friends and some commercial properties. From there, I found the need to leave my full-time position with another company to go on my own venture in the landscaping and lawn service industry. And I enjoyed it. I saw the need of residents wanting their landscaping to be done by a professional, by somebody else. And through experiences with other landscaping companies, I grew my knowledge and provide great service for a number of employees here in the southern Dayton area.
Okay, great. You mentioned services. You talked landscaping specifically, lawn care, but give us an idea, specifics of some of those services that your company provides.
We provide landscape installation and design, hardscape installation and design.
So what do you mean landscape design? What do you do? What are the specifics of making that a landscape design?
Sure. We meet with a homeowner and find out what they would like to, how they would like their landscaping to look, whether they want it to be natural, you know, natural species of plants, or if they want to use more contemporary type plants. And then, you know, we just take as much input as we can get from the homeowners and then design a landscape that we feel is going to adequately do what they want it to do.
Okay. You said hardscaping. What's hardscaping?
It's like retaining walls, paver patios, sidewalks, water features, ponds, um, anything that gives a place for entertaining in the outdoors. Outdoor kitchens, fire pits.
Oh, wow, nice.
Yeah,
So you take care of leaky basements from the inside, but you offer services to help alleviate some of that from the outside as well. Is
that's
that right?
correct. Yep.
Okay.
Yep, we do drainage for gutters, helping to adequately landscape around to create sloping beds that take excess water away from the home so that it doesn't create a wet basement.
Okay. Won't you ask that
So
one
it's
question?
much more than just plants, flowers, and shrubs than you do.
That's correct. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Why don't you ask that one question that you asked of Andy about what people can do? That was a really good question.
Well, and since it's definitely going to be different,
Right.
what are some things that homeowners or renters, whoever, can do themselves to keep, for maintenance in between maybe your service coming out?
Well, I like to tell people that we get rid of the big stuff, and we don't want to take away something that maybe they enjoy getting out in the yard and pulling
Getting their
weeds
hands
here
dirty.
and there. Yeah, spraying a little bit of weed killer here and there. So they can do that, and then leave the bigger things, the shrub pruning, the removal of dead or unwanted shrubs, leave the larger jobs to the
To the
professionals.
professionals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's so this process? We're starting to see some of those fall colors coming out. What are some of the things that you do to help a homeowner prepare for the fall and winter?
Well, yeah, with the drought that we've had, the leaves are starting to fall much earlier this year than normal. Aerating yards is a great thing to do. It helps to open up the ground so that the moisture that we get will soak in and help the root systems of trees, lawns. Fertilizing now before things go dormant for trees, shrubs, perennials is a great thing to help them to come back revived and strong in the spring.
Okay. So everything's going to go dormant here before long. We're going to have a winter.
Yes.
Hopefully we'll have a winter
Yes.
this year. What keeps you busy during the winter season?
We do snow removal and ice control for residential and commercial businesses. So I just,
So this was kind of a hard winter this last year from your perspective, right?
it certainly was. It was. We didn't have much snow removal, but we did start in early spring. It got warmer and everything started to get greener much earlier. So people did start thinking about their landscaping needs much earlier, which was great for
Right.
us to be able to get out and start generating revenue.
Okay. What's your service area?
Southern Dayton, Kettering, Springboro, Centerville, Washington Township, Miamisburg, West Carrollton, Bellbrook, Beaver Creek.
Okay. All right, great. Tell us what integrity means to you and why you value your BBB accreditation.
Integrity to me is providing the customer with the service they expect, giving them a price and sticking to that, making sure that you're honest, that you're on time, and that you provide a service that they can depend on year after year. Because, as the seasons change, there's always needs for landscapers. The BBB accreditation to me is really big because there are, as you guys know, so many different landscape companies out there. When somebody sees that you're a member of the Better Business Bureau and you've got a good rating, that lets them know that you do value integrity for your business, and that when problems do arise, that you're willing to meet with the customer with that issue and take care of it. So it's been a great asset for my business.
Okay. In all the years that you've been running your business here in the Miami Valley, what is some of the biggest lessons or the biggest lesson that you've learned in running your own business?
Not to let the competition that wants to undercut your prices deter you away, and to be sure that you know what you're getting into, you know the underlying issues of any project that you're wanting to get into to provide a service for a customer.
Okay. Certainly in your industry, a lot of scams that are out there, people that are doing less than legitimate business. Can you talk about some of the scams in your industry?
One of the biggest things that we see is customers feeling that the guy driving the pickup truck that's willing to do the job for 40% less than what you can do it for isn't always, you're not always going to get the service that you would expect. And they don't necessarily have insurance or they're not bonded, or they're not paying their workers' comp, which puts the homeowners at risk or the businesses at risk, because they're letting people on the property that don't pay workers' comp. If somebody gets hurt, it's going to fall back on the homeowner or the business owner.
Okay. I know tree service is kind of a specific industry. Do you all do tree trimming, removing trees?
I do not do tree removal. I will do, if a tree has fallen down, I will come and cut that up and remove that from the premises. I do selective pruning on ornamental trees,
Okay.
but I won't do the larger scaled trees. I leave that to the crazy guy that wants to climb.
That's right, and actually the legitimate guys, because that's a big, huge scam that we see here in the Miami Valley, especially with all the storms that we've had. Your Better Business Bureau had to deal with a lot of guys going door to door, doing less than a shoddy service, or doing no service at all. They were in the neighborhood, and so they were here to bring things
I need
out.
to try that. I'm in a neighborhood, do you?
Yeah.
You need a water heater worked on.
Yeah.
Right.
I've never figured that out.
All right. Well, that's great. I appreciate both of you being here. Andy, that's the quietest I've ever seen you, the 5 minutes
I
I
could
spent
tell he
over
was
here.
kind of holding
That's
himself
right.
still.
Yeah.
I'm just-
Girls,
So
what do you
that he
think?
wouldn't
Andy
move.
was really, I mean, his part was great too, but
Yeah.
he was really quiet, wasn't he, during Jason's part? Andy brought his
good.
girls
It was
along
good.
to see his debut here on television. So, Jason, thank you. That's a lot of great information.
Thank you
Andy,
guys
thanks
for inviting
being
me.
here. Best of luck. We appreciate you all standing with us for trust and ethics in this marketplace and doing the right thing by consumers and your business. So we've got some upcoming events.
Yes, we
that
do.
Tierney's going to
As
talk a little bit
usual,
about.
we do. Coming up on September 20th, we have a busy day. We have our annual Institute for Business Integrity breakfast panel, which features our past Eclipse Integrity Award and Torch Award honorees. So that's a great event. That's at the Irvin J. Nutter Center in the Berry Room. Also that evening, we have our BBB networking event, which we love. We love interacting with our accredited businesses and charities. Anyone in the community is welcome to come. We're partnering with the Dayton Hispanic Chamber, and that's going to be from 5:30 to 7:30 at Sinclair Community College in Building 12. Also, on October 16th, we have our Service with Integrity breakfast panel. That's going to be held at MCL Restaurant and Bakery in Kettering, and we always look forward to hearing from some of the area's experts on service and how they bring everything filled with integrity. So for those events and others, you can always visit our website, www.dayton.bbb.org, or call us 937-222-5825. Toll free 1-800-776-5301.
You got that memorized?
I feel like that should be like a song.
That should
Seven,
be. Or a
seven,
rap. You could turn it into a rap.
Why does it have to be a rap?
Rap is a song, right?
Right.
Yeah, that'd be good. It was really good because you were rapping it like.
Well, I felt like I had the flow going.
One of the things that we do is with the Institute at Wright State University,
Yes.
The Raj Soin College of Business, and those are our Eclipse Integrity Award winners.
That's correct.
That's right.
Right.
You recall who those winners were and who was going to be out here this year?
Well, let me see if I can remember. We have Elements for Interiors. We have, our Torch Award honoree
That's
was
right.
Wright Credit Union.
Who will be on next month's show.
That's right, with Detmer and Sons.
That's right.
They've also won.
A little preview. You see that? We did a little preview. We've never done a little preview before.
We did. That
are
was pretty
growing.
good.
Did you guys enjoy that? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. I've just lost my train of thought.
Right. We're talking about.
Eclipse Integrity Awards. And then we have Life Plan Financial Group and PFLAG.
That's right. We have
And one more nonprofit. URS, United
That's
Real,
right.
who was a
Who
former
was a
guest.
guest
Yes.
the year before.
I did it all.
Yeah. That's always a nice event. Wright State
is.
does a nice job of bringing us in there, and it's actually something that the College of Business prepares, the Institute prepares, and lets us partner. And the students that participated in the classes actually come and ask questions, and it's a really nice breakfast.
That's right.
So
it is nice. It's
a really good
another way
time.
to feature our wonderful businesses and charities for integrity, and just kind of inspire the students who are our future.
Oh, that was good.
Wasn't
nice
that
touch.
good?
That's a
That
nice
was
touch.
good.
She amazes me sometimes with just
I
how
amaze
it just
myself at how it
flows
just
out
falls
there.
out of my mouth.
All right. For Tierney Chatfield, I'm John North. We're with your Better Business Bureau. Thank you for spending a little bit of your day with us. And we'll see you next month.
See you next time.